Okay. First off, primeramente, for those of you that don't know me on that side of town, on Bullets, Instagram, wherever, my name, my street name is Maniac. My YouTube name is Cholo Juan. My real name is Juan, and I don't really care what you call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's the homie Bullet from Juveniles. Where you guys out of Bell Gardens or there's other picas?
HP, bro. HP, Huntington Park. That's the hood right there. And we got another hood right there in Bell Gardens, too.
Yeah, in Bell Gardens, because I had a ferry from BGLS, and he said, the juveniles were right there, too.
Yup, yup.
HP's cracking too, though. But besides that, today we're gonna be on a mission not to exploit. I'm not gonna say exploit because that could be taken out of context. But we're gonna be discussing what everybody's been talking about. So I don't know if you want to wait for a couple more people to come in or just go for it. It's up to you.
Shit, man. Let's just jump right into it, bro, and let the people just join in as they as this shit gets
and
heated.
even if they don't, dog, like I'm posting on YouTube and right there, it's gonna be there forever.
Oh yeah, they're screen recording this right now.
Are you?
No, I'm pretty sure somebody, you know what I mean. This shit's gonna hit the.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save it, pre-record it, edit it, and then I'll post it. But okay, well, first off, they don't know a little bit about yourself, dog. That way they can know who you are.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the homie said, they call me Bullet. You know what I mean? Besides the street shit or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm an artist as well. You know what I mean? Do music. Fucking I've been in the Chicano rap shit too for a minute. Lightweight, fuck with it not. You know what I mean? Due to, you know what I mean, the other whatever. You know what I mean? The other shit we got going or we do or whatever. But yeah, for the most part, we off this music shit. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of work in the early stages of the genre. You know what I mean? I was there when the sound was shifting to the way traditionally homies used to hear the Chicano rap sound towards where the sound of what it is today. You know what I mean? I was there. I would say without a doubt, one of the pioneers, bro, when it came to that sound being crafted and that sound being molded, like I said, into what it is today. You know what I mean? And you hear it a lot in what we're gonna talk about right now. So yeah, just a little bit of background, you know what I mean? You know, I'm not out there like that, but yeah, I did a lot of behind the scene work. So yeah, I got a lot to say.
What I want to know is Spencer to jump in like that abruptly, but what I want to know is what's your take on what is Chicano rap, dog? Is like what is Chicano rap? First off,
There's a lot of things that make Chicano rap. You know what I mean? We could go all day. You know what I mean? Yeah. One thing, the next. But one thing that I feel, you know what I mean now, that would always make Chicano rap stand out. You know what I mean? Whenever you would hear, oh, it's Chicano rap, yeah, what people started calling it that, is when you would hear somebody rap, you would hear the music. You hear somebody rapping, you would hear somebody rapping. Then off the words that were used, the slang, the style, the way their approach was when it came to making music, you didn't have to wonder who was rapping. You can tell it was a Mexican gangster. You know what I mean? You can tell it was a Mexican gangster, Cholo, whatever you want to call it. But just by hearing the music, it was no doubt. You'd be like, oh, that's a gangster, homie. That's a Mexican homie right there. That's homie from, you know what I mean? Those are those guys. That's that music right there, you know what I mean? So that's something that everything had in common, from the sound of back in the day to today. A lot of homies are from neighborhoods. They're gang members, bro. They rap. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So, we
have a lot of residents too that are doing the rap thing now, and I mean, shout out to them. But to me, when it started, or the way I grasped what Chicano rap was a Cholo from a barrio telling a story, trying to rap. But it's actually a Cholo on the streets,
Yeah.
I seen it, but now it has evolved into all kinds of different stuff, But anyways, the main topic that we want to cover before everybody goes to sleep, right? Um, it's Little Rob and King Lil G. That's what we're gonna talk about today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So first off, I'm gonna kick it off with what I know from Little Rob, and then you could do your part on what you know from Little Rob, you know, and then I don't know if we want to Google his craft, but look, Little Rob, what I know from him in 1997, I remember he kicked out with, I don't know if it was My Crazy Life, the first CD he kicked out with, and then I heard that he went to LA, started putting the posters on Whittier Boulevard. Somebody told him to go over there, and then he just blew up. You know, he blew up, and then at first, I thought it was a gangster ass vato. I was like, damn, I thought it was like that Cholo to live up to. Like that's the hardcore fool. And I never thought that he would change his stilo, right? And like by the second CD, he was already sounding different. Like it was already a different person. Like not to take nothing from him, dog.
Yeah.
He's stupid talented, dog. And he did a lot. But to me, it was kind of like damn, homie, that was like fraud, like the homie. No disrespect to Little Rob, if he wants to punch me later, but come on, battle, like a great dog, battle, and what do you know about Little Rob?
Yeah, I mean, Little Rob to me was never really what I know is he never really came off as a gangster homie. You know what I mean? I know he was bald and he had the stilo, you know what I mean, and he had the cholo look and everything. But just by listening to his music, you can tell that he himself wasn't trying to come off as he was a gang member or he was this crazy ass fool that's fucking trending up. I know there's some homies that got that type of music, you know what I mean? Because it is what it is. Some homies were turned, like Mr. Shadow came a little bit more on that kind of tip. You know what I mean? He came straight, you know what I mean? He came straight out of SD, straight on that tip, bro. On some killer shit, which is dope. But Little Rob wasn't on that kind of shit. He was more the smooth, cool cat at a party that'll rock the party, that'll get the women dancing, that'll get the homies sipping, that'll get the party cracking. You know what I mean? He was that homie. That's
you hear the first album though.
The first one?
Yeah,
Which one was his first album? What was it? High? Natural High or something?
First album, she was gang banging on all the songs. Not literally throwing up a barrio, but gang. It's the name of the jam to all them locals that like to gang bang because I do it when I have to witness every, like to me.
Well, you know what? That reminds me of how you said, what do you know about Lil Rob? You know what? So that reminds me of a story that I heard back in the day. Okay, so that reminds me of a story that I heard that Lil Rob got shot.
Yeah.
And I heard that after Lil Rob got shot, that's when he was like, you know what? That he took music more serious.
Yeah.
And he realized, I want to do the street shit and I want to do the music more. So I guess that's more when I guess he started catching more success. And that's the type of music we started hearing from him. You know what I mean? Because I never, like I said, I hadn't heard his first stuff, but I would hear a lot of stuff about him because trip out another story. When I used to make music back in the day, that shit that I dropped with Lil G, LA County's Most Wanted, his first album, I was on that shit. So the studio that we used to go to, it was a studio right here in Long Beach called LA Hitman Studios. Okay, there was Dave, he was LA Hitman, and it was crazy because one time me and Lil G, we went to record over there, and Dave was like fucking, Hitman, he was like happy as fuck. He's like, hey, look who came over here. He pulls out the camera, and he shows us a fucking video of Lil Rob rapping a verse right there in the same booth where we're at, same studio we're at. And he's like, Lil Rob, blah, 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 whatever. So that's how we started catching a lot of stories of what was going on in the Chicano rap game, which is how I caught wind of him getting shot. And obviously I heard the verse he dropped that day on the video. And like I said, it was off some party shit, off some cool, you know what I mean? So I was like, man, that's cool, I was like, he's not portraying that hardcore image, so.
Okay, well, before he gets taken out of context, Little Rob, if you ever hear this, I'm not disrespecting you in any type of way, shape, or form. However, I'm just speaking as a fan because I had your CDs and I heard your first music, and that's the way that's the way I translated your music, like as a gangster ass fool. But then I'm not saying that it was something bad. I'm just saying when you transitioned into what the homies talking about, the party scene, or the oldies for the hangman, you blew up. So it was a smart move.
Yeah.
You think I can't take that from you. That made you that put you placed you where you're at right now. You know what I mean? I'm just going back to like way back how
Yeah.
yeah, maybe was he from a hood or not?
I don't think he was, bro. I don't think he as far as like, you know what I mean. I don't think, I'm pretty sure, more than likely, I can stand on this fact that he wasn't from a neighborhood. He didn't gangbang. He
Yeah,
wasn't. Maybe he probably affiliated to where when he got shot, he realized, you know what, this ain't the route, which is cool. Like I said, I have more respect for somebody that says, you know what, this ain't me, as to somebody that says, you know what, this is me, blah blah blah, and at the end, you know what I mean, they go out like a bitch. You know what I mean, like so. So yeah, that's from what I know, he wasn't from a hood, bro.
okay. Well, besides that, little Robbie, he came up. He's one of the best. If you could put him on the top 10, I'm pretty sure he take a seat on the top 10. But I'm gonna tell you something about the homies from San Diego. With no disrespect to San Diego, from what I encountered in prison, dog, those homies right there, they're very, very San Diego, dog. Like you run into vatos from LA, right? And ask them, what's up, my boy, where you from? And they'll tell you, so homie, pico viejo, so homie, with el barrio loco, so homie, la Florencia. Like they bang their barrio before they bang their county. And the homies from OC and San Diego, from what I noticed, the ones I've been around with, they always say SB, unless you ask them, like, what barrio, or they say OC, like they rampla, they clean the rampla more.
Mm,
Maybe that's what a little Robo is doing. But besides that,
all right.
let's talk about King Little G. You know a little bit more, so kick that one off. King Lil G, how he started. If you don't know, don't even trip out. I'll say what I know. I don't really know much on him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was there when he started, bro. Like on his first album that came out was LA County's Most Wanted. And the way I even started making music was one of my homeboy Nomad, rest in peace, fucking got me in contact with him, told me he heard some of the stuff I was doing. I already had like a little song out there just for the hood, you know what I mean? So he played him that shit, and he heard my shit. So he was like, right away off top, Lil G was like, hey Kyle, you wanna be from the label? Fucking you're come to studio. All right, cool. We got there, whatever. And it was me, Lil G, and it was another artist right there, by the name of Youngster. You know what I mean? Old school cat, you know what I mean? In the Chicano rap game too. That guy was really cool with Mr. Capone in the early
Okay.
days. Yeah, in the early days of when it was straight up Chicano rap, was straight up boxed in the CDs. You know what I mean? What Chicano rappers used to do is when homies used to run into each other, they would trade CDs. Now Youngster I peeped a lot of game from Youngster because he was older. You know what I mean? He had more feria. He's the one putting up the feria for the studio time and whatnot. So the way the game was back in the day was a lot of CDs. Homies used to just trade CDs. So I remember Youngster let me hold a box of CDs one time, and I was going through it, and I seen all kinds of shit. I seen old school Mr. Little One. I seen fucking Clica One. I seen all kinds of artists that I had never even knew, that I would no other way would ever find out about these artists,
Yeah, back then.
unless you were in the game. And then so what homies do is they'll trade CDs. So then Youngster rest in peace. He had a box of all these artists. And then when homies didn't want to buy your shit, well, I got the little one here. I got the little Rob here. There was little Rob. There was Mrs. Shadow, bro. You name them, that were in the box, and I had the box. You know what I mean? So that was the point where me and Lil G were trying to get to, like, man, we need to get our album out. So we're working on LA County's Most Wanted. Now, when I got there, the album was like a little bit less than halfway done. So as far as the music, the sound had a little kind of like a little different sound. If you go back and you listen to the tracks, you could listen to the way Lil G was rapping. He was just more, a little bit more, that's right, down for my shit, blah, blah, blah. Like the slang and the style that Lil G had was more like, it sounded like Little Rock, bro. It sounded like Little Rock style. It sounded like fucking, it sounded like Little Menace. I know homies ain't Little Menace, been out the game for a minute, but yeah, hey, those are names that were in the game from the beginning, bro. And yeah, he had like a Little Menace type of style, bro. And hey, it was the first album, so we're just barely crafting the sound. What direction do we take this shit to? You know what I mean? And I would tell him, like, hey, it was 2001, 2002, you know what I mean? And it was like, hey, homies don't talk like that no more, bro. Like, we're out here in the calle, like you said, we're in the streets. Yeah. We're in the streets where the sound is being molded straight from the calle, my boy. So we're on the calle straight up. And I'm telling them, like, hey, homies don't talk like that. We just don't, you know what I mean? And homies don't dress like that either, bro. Like, we're wearing, by that time, we're wearing 501s, polos, long sleeves. And, you know, we get little fades and shit too because, you know, we become less identifiable, bro. When you're wearing those big ass pants with the fucking jersey, fit size 50 Frisco band, homie, you get rolled up quick.
That's some Capone shit.
Yeah, bro, for reals, you ain't gonna dress like that. So I'll be telling her, like, you know what I mean? It's a whole different style. So back to the question, you know what I mean? We get there, we start working on these tracks, and that's when we start finishing the rest of the album, his album, King Lil, Little Gangster, LA County's Most Wanted. And the songs were being done, bro, and that was the first Chicano rap album that he dropped. It came out through PR Records because we parted ways with Down for My Shit, and PR Records, what ended up happening is Youngster sold the album for a flat fee to PR Records. Now, PR Records had the right to press it up as many times as they wanted to. You know what I mean? He sold it for a couple $1,000. I heard the figure that was out there what he sold it for. And PR Records just kept pressing it and pressing it and pressing it and pressing it. And people wanted it, bro. And people were fucking buying it. And what was dope is that it was being promoted. Whenever you were buying Mr. Shadow album, PR Records was one of the biggest fucking Chicano rap distributors. Okay. So, yeah, bro. So whenever you would buy Mr. Shadow album, you would open the inside and it would say Most Wanted. Okay. So he was getting the promo off every fucking artist that was on the roster of PR Records.
So that's basically, you know, like coming up, but without area.
Yeah, bro, without actually getting done dirty because remember the album, he's supposed to get paid for it. We parted ways with Down for My Shit. We didn't get paid for none of that, bro. We didn't get paid for none of that shit. So, yeah, duh. So later on, we've seen the flyers in the calles. You know, me and Lil G, like, we seen the flyers. We're downtown LA. We seen the flyer in the calle. I'm like, bro, this is you, bro. I was like, look at this shit. Motherfuckers are slanging your shit, bro. I go, you're famous, player. And that's that, bro. Early 2000s, bro. And this was when the sound was catching on to where it was like, all right, there's a new sound out here coming from Los Angeles, and it's knocking, and it's catching on, and it's catching wave. And sure enough, he caught a lot of success. To this day, you could hear the style, and you could hear the sound. You know, I was teaching him how to break down bars. Like, no, you gotta separate the bars, bro. You can't, cause he go in the studio and just rap. He Lil G just be rapping. Yeah. And then he's like, I believe you gotta chop it here. Boom, this is where it ends. This is the 16th bar. Aquí ya se acaba the verse. All right, cool. So we're learning how to structure songs at the same time, molding the sound, bro. And like I said, he had a lot of success with it. So that those were the early stages of Little G shit. You know what I mean? Before the fame and the big hits that he has now.
Well, see, how I first, I don't know if it's the same Little G though, and I don't remember exactly if there was Little Cuete or somebody. It was Little G and someone else, like at a bar or at a restaurant or something like. They did a video. They had white tees creased down, and I don't know if it was him. If it was, that's the first time I ever seen him or heard of him. And then when I got busted in 2012, he was already like circulating the calles. Mm-hmm. His name was circulating the calles. And when I got busted, I finally heard one of his CDs, and it was pretty dope. You know, some of his homeboys to bump it hard, you know, like Rascal from 18th Street, Orange County. Uh, he had all the CDs. Matter of fact, I sold him some of the CDs that I liked the King Enemy CD, but I didn't like the other, the AK-47 boys. The
Yeah.
one I didn't like that one. But I like the other one, so that's how I did it. You know what I mean? I traded for some other stuff, you know. But you know, when I got out, when I got a cell phone, I don't really want to talk about that. But you know, getting a cell phone, I started like streaming, and then I seen that he had some pretty dope stuff, and it was going viral. See? It was getting numbers, you know. So separating Little Rock from King Lil G, I would say that the disadvantage that Little Rock would have is that he never had the internet. You see what I'm saying? He never had the internet, whereas King Lil G used the internet to his advantage and just blew up.
Mm-hmm.
He did it, dog. He did it. You know, like all that Dr. Dre, Leonard, whatever, all that shit blew him up. You know, and when it comes down to the you know, I would like the audience, you know, whether it's here on the comment section or on YouTube on the comment section, you guys let us know who do you guys think is the king. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you guys think, bro? I see a lot of people tapping in right here. Mr. Homicide. I see a fucking a lot of homies right here. What's up? Hey, shout out to all you guys right there, man. Because you know this is hey, this is your culture, bro. This is our culture. This is you guys got opinions, you know what I mean? What you guys think? You know, I feel the reason I mean it is true, you know, the numbers speak for themselves. And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
numbers do not lie. You know what I mean? And we're talking about it earlier how King Lil G brought a lot more numbers to the genre, to, you know, a lot more people started checking for they started seeing that his music, they were like, hey, wait a minute, these guys got something over here. There's something going on over here. Let's check what else is going on. You know what I mean? And that's what it did. It brought light to even though he didn't really like sign, you know, someone that surpassed him, you know, because a lot of people say, oh, what did he do with it? You know, but it put a lot of artists too. It opened doors because now there's a lot more people checking for Mexican rappers.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You now there's a lot more people that are like, you know what, these homeboys do got flow. They could rap. You know what I mean? Like they ain't just spitting some shit inside, because that's one thing that will get me hot. A lot of homies will make music that shit suck. They put it in a CD. They'll sell it to you. You go home, you hear it, and you're like, man, that's some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro. So yeah, so the next time you try to sell your CD, they're like, nah, hell, nah, they got me like that before. I you know, I don't want. And I used to hear that in the Kaiser a lot when I was selling my CD. They'd be like, nah, I don't listen to that shit. And I would have to play it, bro. I have to play it, but nah, listen to this shit, bro. Listen to it. They were like, you know, so I was like, fuck, bro. It was a little, you know, a little struggle, bro, to break that fucking, that barrier. But, hey, you know, like you said, King Lil G did it with his numbers, and he put us up. He represented us in a good way, you know what I mean? Like, to where other people started checking and be like, okay, like I said, these homies got talent.
Yeah,
You know, these homies got talent. They ain't just out here bullshitting, dressing up, looking, you know what I mean? Like clowning and shit. Homies got their shit right. They got their shit tight. They know how to spit bars. We know how to compose songs. We know how to compose music, and you know, we're out here representing it right. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of other homies that are doing that shit too, not just King Lil G, but yeah, he put it up there.
Look, in no due respect to the homies from the Riverside County, bro, uh, but I've heard like a video, a shout out to Big Riverside, you know, but I heard a CD of somebody from Coachella. I don't know who it was, dog, but I was like, damn, bro, that shit sucks. That
See?
sucks, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, a lot of people on here might say, you made some stuff like that shit too, you know, and it's all right, you know, you can say that, but I'm just saying my opinion. I've heard bad stuff, and I've also heard good stuff, especially with the younger generation. That they changed the whole thing, dog. Like they're using different swagger, different vocabulary words. They're they're talking pretty much like black, you know. especially Swifty Blue, all the editors, I'm
Yeah,
not, I'm not saying Swifty Blue is an editor, but Swifty Blue, that's a homie, that's what's female,
yeah,
But she
yeah.
came with she little haircut, you know what I mean? And after him, all of them came out with the same haircut, rapping the same.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. That's the style, bro. And it reminds me. Look, it reminds me of when we were younger. Like I said, in the early 2000s. That shit reminds me when, like I said, we weren't talking like the generation before us. And I feel it's the absence of that older generation that they went to prison. And sometimes the youngsters are just left like, fuck, we're just us out here. You know what I mean? It's just us. It's us holding it down. So, homies just start adapting their own style. They start bringing their own, like you said, their own swag. When we started changing the style, for us, we stopped talking a certain way. Like I said, we wouldn't talk like that no more because that was the homies. Like we just wouldn't talk like that. We would talk about it when hearing them when we all kick it. We'd be like, hey, what's up, Holmes? Hey, what's up, big shit? What's up, big? Like fucking around a little bit, but still con cariño to the older homies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
of paying homage up to the way the stilo was. You know what I mean? It ain't, and I think that's what's happening right now. Like the style is changing too, but the style, and that's just what it is. The style's changing, and some of their homies used to tell us, like, they used to tell us too, like, why you talk like that? Why you don't take that, certain shit? But it's like, this is us, and that was you guys, and this is us, and I guess there's a place where we just meet in the middle, where it's like, all right, I don't know where that place is right now with the next generation, but
They're crazy. The homies are crazy, dog,
that shit, yeah, it's a lot of new shit. So, and a lot of shit that we're not used to. I know I'm not used to it. I'm not used to hearing, for example, I'm not used to hearing, homies just say the N-word on music.
Yeah, no. That's how they talk, though,
I know, bro, but that's how a lot of homies talk. But we would just never use it in the music. We knew, and it was like a unsaid said thing that when it came to music, we just wouldn't.
Yeah.
We
Well,
just
you know what? I see the transition in prison, man. A lot of little younger homies. I don't say little homie or none of that. Just younger homies, started using those words. They started like growing their hair. They started coming in with no tattoos, it changed. It changed the way you view things. Like, damn, like this is like we're getting older. Like it's a new generation, dog. But before we go, I wanted to say a big you to rest in peace, Night Owl. Rest in peace, Night Owl. Little Rob, Echo, like all those rappers, homie.
a lot,
Mighty.
bro.
Shout out to you, Bullet, King Lil G, Chino Grande, Baby Joe, uh, even to Capone and all his team, dog. Like, all the homies, dog, because I was going to tell you that what I like about now, from back then to now, is that they don't have the homie diss tracks no more. There's one or two, but back then everybody was going at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was back and forth, darn. And right now it's just like you don't really hear that anymore. Once in a while, two homies go at it and start going at it, but back then it was everybody against everybody, and that's something that I think also, slowed us down a little bit. Because instead of uniting the platforms, everybody was just trying to do their own thing.
Hey, for real, bro. That shit really, yeah, that right there worked against us a lot. Cause it was just, homies were beefing, bro. You know what I mean? Homies were beefing, and it was something that you had to be aware of. If you're gonna go work with your enemy, bro, or someone that kicked it with the enemy or something, and you were feeling a type of way, like, man, like this shit gonna pop off, or And I look at Death Row, like how Snoop and fucking Suge Knight and there was Bloods and there was Chris, but there were millionaires, bro. They were getting millions. So I was like, man, I don't know why we can't get together and fucking, you know what I mean? And at least, be on, we don't have to fucking, everybody kick it every day or anything like that, but
Yeah,
at least with a point where everyone has like a voice, we could have a common ground as far as music, and everybody get this paper. You know what I mean? We don't got to bring that shit from the guys over here, bro, because we did that shit already.
yeah.
So
It's irrelevant,
everybody can get their paper, and they're here for a reason. Obviously, we're all here to feed our families, and we're all here to better ourselves, bro. Make some
Yeah,
money,
hell yeah.
take care
Yeah,
of people, take care of our kids, and and we could do it in a good way. One thing that was crazy, bro, that I know it's a little bit off topic, bro, but it's just one thing that I remember, that fucking when me and Lil G were signed with Death Row back in the days, me, Lil G, Young Dopey, and all that shit. One thing that I remember Suge Knight um uh, would tell us, would mention that Tupac would mention this to Suge Knight. Now you got to remember, Tupac was from New York, okay?
Yeah.
Tupac, in his mind, he saw shit from a perspective of someone that came from the East Coast.
Yeah.
So when he and from a perspective of that someone that's been in the music industry on a professional level from the beginning of his career. So when he started, you know what I mean, he was like, in New York, there were Puerto Ricans, bro, and there was blacks, Puerto Ricans in the game, and there was no separation. There was no a Puerto Rican rap game, and then there was a hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was Fat Joe, Big Pun. It was like if you had skill and you would rap, hey, you were in there, you were there. So when Tupac came to the West Coast, it was weird. It was, you know what I mean? For it to separate, it was like, what the fuck? Oh, what? You know what I mean? He didn't like that, bro. And you know what I mean? Suge would tell me he had a lot of love for the raza, bro. A lot of love for homies. And to him, it was weird, bro, to just see that separation. Think about it, coming from a rap legend, bro.
Yeah.
For him to even see it, like, hey, bro, like, fuck's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this music shit. Well, why is the Mexican homie, like, why? You know what I mean? Like, you get me, bro. You know what I mean? You get what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? Like, which is why.
What you mean, but I also understand why, though, because right there, it's like the prison culture. You know, it has like a domino effect to the guys down. That's just the way the older homies had it, you know, and they still have it like that, you know. So that's why it's so hard to, you know, like cross that line, you know.
Yeah. But the thing is, Fat Joe, Big Pun, and all these schools were getting in the game. They weren't getting in the game. They were getting in the game on their own. You know, they didn't have to be signed to Diddy or to fucking, you're gonna get in the game, Fat Joe, but you gotta sign to fucking Def Jam, or you gotta sign to this, or you gotta sign to that. No, they were in the game doing their thing, from independent to rising the numbers to getting a mainstream exposure and just being automatically accepted. So now we felt there was something beyond that. You know what I mean? Beyond just, because when it comes to money, bro, like who's gonna say no to money? Like, you know what I mean? Like, with the fact that Suge Knight was looking at homies to sign homies, let it be known that there was talent. Like I said earlier, there was talent there, bro. There's a lot of homeboys, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it too, my boy. When you go to prison, how many homeboys that know how to bang on the table? They know how to rap. They know how to draw. They know how to fucking dope ass motherfuckers, bro. They know how to sing. You know what I mean? Homies got that shit, bro. You don't understand? You know what I mean? We should be putting up there.
Those was like busted. Those was like busted. But look, I was gonna tell you too. Did you ever run into this other guys like a Devour, Drummer Boy? I seen those guys got numbers, you know, and they got Philo too.
Yeah, I ran into Drummer Boy. I ran into Drummer Boy before. We had some conversations and shit. Yeah, shit. He's dope as fuck too. You know what I mean? He got that shit out there too. Devour, I never met Devour. You know what I mean? But yeah, I heard of, obviously. You know what I mean? We heard his music.
Where he from? Is he a homie or is he a Mexican?
Devour, from what I hear, he's a homie. Obviously, I think he's Mexican. Yeah, but I don't think he's from a hood.
Okay, well, he gets down though. That's what a band. That one's tight right there, though, you know.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I don't know if you got anything to add to it, Bida. I'm gonna go ahead and screen record it, try to edit the end, the beginning, and then I'm just gonna let it live forever on YouTube. And hopefully we get together and do this again next week or in 2 weeks, or you know, once like I said, I just gotta handle my boy. So once I start getting paid, I'll go to you and get your interview for you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it through the phone, dog. It'll be better, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to ask some shit. Like, I want to talk a little bit more about Little Rob. I know I went into like the early stage of like the whole King Lil G shit.
Yeah.
Just put it out there, bro, because you know, it's part of history. You know, I know people that behind the scenes shit, all the shit that went on behind the scene. Now one thing about Little Rob I will say is what I feel is his name still ring bells to this day, is because I think when it came to music, Lil G was doing numbers. He was doing, putting out videos. He has good visuals out there. There's a lot of fucking videos out there that got millions of views. Can't take that away. But I feel the thing with Little Rob, bro, is that he just became more of a cultural icon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He surpassed, so that his stamp's a little like, you know what I mean? His stamp is fucking there. And the impact that he had as far as culture, you know what I mean? Like, homie, or you think of Lil Rob, you think, Cholo, homie, you know what I mean? Like the impact that he's had on the culture, I feel is he's done it a lot, not just with music, but like his image, his get down, the way when he does interviews, when people put the camera on him, he has his little intro where he rhymes and he raps, and yeah, he just had that type of impact, and that's just the type of homie and the type of artist he is, bro. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's the art, bro, that makes people gravitate towards your music, towards your persona, towards your image, bro. The way, the hat, the fucking, the if somebody were to draw a fucking picture of Lil Rob, you know who the fuck they're drawing with the hat, with the thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, you don't have to write at the bottom, you just fucking know.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I never met him in person, though, and that counts a lot too. I met little G in person. I met him one time, and he was humble. He was a humble person. I like his stilo, and overall, I don't care who wins, as long as he's a Mexican, so as long as he's a Rasta, dog, you know what I mean? Like, for real.
yeah.
That's like, shout out to all Rasta, shout out to a commitment